All right, today's the big day. We're ready to get started, taking out the boat for its maiden voyage. So I ended up deciding to pre-assemble the pontoons before we get to the water. I'll be able to get on the water faster once we get there. So here you see the bottom rails, spacer, side rails. So we're ready to put the bins on the bottom rails and start constructing the first pontoon. So got the bins on the rail. Bins are on the rail, tarps are on the bins, rails are on the tarps. Now it's time to start strapping. Okay, you can kind of see I have a strap at the very front and a strap at the back. So this is kind of just a intermediate shot to show you the kind of transition. So this is kind of the order I've been strapping it in. One at the front, one at the back. Once you get those and kind of the rails set in, then you come to the middle, pinch the side rails down. All right, one pontoon down, another to go. It's ready for the roof. So let's see how it works on the roof. All right, check it out. So I opted with laying it down on its side because the boards are underneath it. And if you take a look at the hose clamps, if I set these down onto the wood and strapped it really tight, it would smash into the wood, and I don't really want to do that. And I think if you put it fully upside down, the top rails kind of create the same issue, and that would never sit down evenly on the wood. So pretty much on its side, the bracer piece in action, keeping the sides from smashing the bin. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think we're laying it down sideways. And then when we do strap it to the car, so run a strap through the frame of the car, gonna wanna do it not on a box or else you'll crush it. So it'll have to go right on top of that red strap and then right on top of that green strap. And I put a 14-foot canoe on this thing before, and this is about 14 feet worth of bins, 7 2-foot long bins. So it's pretty much the same length as the canoe, and I think it'll be fine on top of the car. 2 hours later and we're ready to go. All right, so as you can see, some denting. So I've got the plate, which is preventing the denting, but I might need 1, 2, 3 more plates. Same thing over here, might want more plates. The plate's working well, just might want more of them. Look at that pinch. Could probably like add a spacer right there, but maybe it's something we'll loosen when we get there. Let's check out if this is happening on the other pontoon. No, it's not happening on the other pontoon anywhere near as badly. So maybe I just overly cranked this pontoon. And my whole test is if you take any part of your load and shake it, the entire car wobbles with it. And that's pretty much occurring right now. So when I shake the pontoon, the entire car shakes with it. To me, that's the sign. And it's only 2 straps. I like to put my straps through the back seat so that the clip isn't right on my head while I'm trying to drive or in my field of vision. If I put a strap here, it'd be in my field of vision as I drive. So I like to put them through the back seat. We're at the bay, ready to test it. Got it unloaded from the car. Getting her set up. I got the back beam is locked down. The straps are all good and set up. And I'm just locking down the cross beams and attaching the deck. And then I got a bunch of stuff to load on. One funny thing that keeps happening is I keep freaking out. Like on land, you go, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, great. Okay, all set. And then you get out here to the water and everything starts freaking you out. Every connection, every measurement, you're like doubting it. Like, will this hold up once we're out there? All this kind of fear starts creeping in, even though it's such a beautiful time. It's a nervous time. I'm a little freaked out, and I hope that everything works. So yeah, we'll get set up, show you the final setup, and then we'll get the heck on the water. All right, we're ready to go. All set up, loaded and floated. Let's see how we go. Dries you out.
Whoa.
We're out here, we're floating. The bins look about halfway submerged. The motor is still super weak. Different battery, motor's weak. Winds are at like 10 knots and we're going straight in. So there's that. And the motor is just barely moving us along. All is good. We're about probably about 100 yards offshore. Water's about 2.5 feet deep. Going straight into like an 11 knot wind with nice little choppy waves coming at us and handling waves just comfortably. I'm sitting nice and high. Don't feel scared at all or like unstable whatsoever. Overall, the maiden voyage is a success. So the plan is just go out 500 yards, maybe throw the anchor, or just turn straight back and land again and check everything out and make sure everything's good. Nothing feels wonky. We're rocking in the waves and nothing is like scaring me with its motion. We feel quite stable. Found a calm anchorage. We were out in some pretty rough stuff. We went over a sandbar where the waves really kind of pumped up the size. And we handled it. We rocked around, but it handled it no problem. And the pontoons didn't look scary. The bins didn't shift at all. It barely even creaked. The most creaking I heard from the entire boat was when I dropped the anchor and the anchor line pulled tight on one of the beams and it kind of went tick, 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 and that's it. That's the only noise this boat has made. Other than that, I haven't heard it shift, creak, or wobble at all. It's felt totally fine. And it handled some decent waves. And I mean like 2 foot, like rocking waves. No problem. We feel good. Everything feels great. Loving life. We're anchored here, so we'll christen it now with a little Andre champagne. Here we are at the front of the boat, just hanging out. The wind is pretty strong, 10, 12 knot winds. We're very buoyant, we're very high up out of the water. Let's check out the rest of the boat. I jumped off the boat to take a whiz of this giant bird. Check. Here. My boat, a plane. Awesome trimaran, doing its mission. Going back to the boat. Fix that tarp at the very front. Everything looks pretty good. The water level. Cannot complain. Okay. This big beautiful bastard. Nice. So, dude, there have been some serious waves coming through, and we've been handling them, to be honest. I mean, the waves, when coming at us, looked scary, and then we rode them with relative ease. No splashing on the deck. Wow. And we're rolling with them. And the pontoons are just solid. They're not flexing, they're not shifting, they're not coming loose over time, as far as I can tell. And we've been on the water for, I don't know, 3.5 hours. And they've been assembled for about 24 at this point. So they stay stable for 24 hours. They don't like lose their tension, and they can handle the lateral and vertical variant strain of a choppy seas. This is day 1 maiden voyage, and it is getting a hell of a field exam right now. Decent conditions, 2 foot rollers, foot tall choppy waves as well. heavy winds, and hanging tough with everything. Hanging tough, very solid. We're just gonna kind of putt up and down the coast a little bit, test it out, put it through some different situations, and land back way back there. Is where we launched from and where we're gonna land, and we're just gonna float. I don't think we're even gonna get to this pier in front of us. Our mission was this kind of blue tent thing on the coast. Well, we'll putz around. It's really rough out here, so it's not really like a place we want to anchor and sit. It's quite choppy. So we'll see where we end up in terms of just relaxing. But yeah, handling good. Moves slow as an ox, but also sturdy as an ox. Handling rough roads, so we're good. We're having a good time. Look at that. Look at the buoyancy level. Look at how much of the fins are out of the water. That's some buoyancy right there. When you put 7 storage bins together with 5 slats and ratchet straps, there's a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong. With designs like that, sure, maybe it works great for an hour, but by the end of the day, the whole mechanism's falling apart. But for these pontoons, they are remarkably sturdy and stable. For something held together by tension and wooden slats and plastic, it's very strong. Just from a design perspective, just from a practicality perspective, I'm really happy with how things are going so far.